contoh mistake-mistake yang terjadi di kemarin hari?
Mistake yang kemarin terjadi sih kita belum expect sama keisengan Semnan ya. Jadi benar-benar dari semua map kita benar-benar deket sama dia dan lumayan mengganggu gameplay kita lah.
So the things that I don't expect is the playstyle from Sem9. So that's the mistake that we learned back then, is because of our drop spot in every map is quite near with Sem9, and yeah, we don't expect these things gonna happen, and yes, they give us so much trouble.
I mean, that's the unexpected to be happening on the global stage, definitely now. You mentioned about Sem9. Are they one of your greatest threat when it comes to this stage, or will there be somebody else so far?
Kamu ngomong Sem9 nih, kamu mention Sem9. Apakah Sem9 itu salah satu tim yang kamu ngerasa PR terbesar kamu, ataupun ada tim-tim yang lain?
Enggak sih. Karena emang kemarin iseng aja, kita nggak expect dia bakalan main se-iseng itu.
Okay. So basically, it's not really Sem9 is our biggest threat, but then we just don't expect they're gonna play like that.
Okay, so we might have more surprises for today, by the way. With tight points among the teams, and you still have a great chance to make it to the last chance stage. What's your focus to improve your rankings since today is your last day? And what do you think is the most important outcome for today's games?
Okay, jadi kalau kita lihat dari point system, poin kalian itu tidaklah terlalu jauh untuk kamu lolos ke ke last chance. Jadi, apakah fokus terbesar yang kamu mau fokusin hari ini supaya kamu bisa lolos ke last chance?
Kita lebih ngemaksimalin tiap game sih. Jadi kalau tiap game kita mendapatkan hasil yang bagus, poin juga bakalan ikutan bagus juga. Jadi kita fokus game per game.
Okay, so basically we're gonna focus on each game. We're gonna focus on our first game first. It's because of, I believe if we focus on each game, the point will come afterward. So we're just gonna do our best in every single map so that, yeah, we're gonna maximize our point.
I agree. It's one step at a time, one thing at a time as well. But we're done here on Stage Live. We're going to toss it back to the casters. Good luck, all the best for all the teams out there competing, especially when it comes to Green Group. Today will be the last day performing, and the next day they have to just wait it out. We're just going to toss it back to the casters. Casters, take it away.
Well, as you heard there, Potato, Alter Ego, and all the teams from Group Green, this is your last chance. Your last 6 matches to get as many points as possible and potentially keep yourself in the safe zone. I'm Jason Kaplan, and we got Maxman and Kalaris here on the desk to break down everything happening, obviously, yesterday and what's to come up today. And honestly, Max, well, no, wait, I'm not going to go to you, Max. I'm going to go to Kalaris first. Alter Ego had a rough day, to say the least.
Yes, they did, and I VOD reviewed them quite extensively. So obviously we heard in the interview there that, you know, Sem9 was one of their downfalls. Luckily for them, they're not playing today. However, I think that is not the issue for them. Yesterday, the issue for them in 4 games out of the 6 was unnecessary risks. You think back to the Sandhawk, you get caught in the water, BTR takes you down, you're done. You think, and the other water scenario on Erangel as well, that was not required whatsoever. The first game on Erangel, where they're coming late to the circle, they're trying to go for a central spot. You're too late. Try and play edge instead. Again, another unnecessary risk. And then finally, Sem9 on Erangel being able to take them out when they're trying to find cars, right? So all of these unnecessary risks that they're taking could be easily mitigated if they're just playing a bit more mature PUBG Mobile and trying to play a bit more of a controlled style.
Well, there you go. Before we can hop into some more analysis here, Max, I know you're just ready to talk. Got to remind you guys at home about the Infinix GT10 Pro official smartphone here at PMGC 2023. And while you're on your new lovely device, make sure you check out TikTok with the tag PMGC 2023 to find out some stuff behind the scenes, hopefully some interviews, hopefully anything for you guys to watch. And of course, if you do post about the event, make sure you use the hashtag as well. But Max, as you heard Kalaris break down Alter Ego, there's another team out there we really have to focus our attention on, a team who had a special invite into the group stage. It's G Gladiators.
I don't know. I don't know if I want to talk about them.
I'm making you talk about them.
I don't know. I want to talk about them. I mean, Gladiators. We expect more, right? I still believe in the Gladiators cheese. They're going to cheese until the very end here, Jason. They're going to maybe qualify to the survival stage, to the last chance, should I say, with just a few points. But I want to look onto other teams possibly, because we got also a big shift of groups, right? And one of the few teams that's been added to the mix today that I'm especially excited to see play is going to be Nigma Galaxy. They played exceptionally well back in their Group Red, and especially with Coops, he was the second top fragger of his group. one of the best pickups, I would say, in the entire year of PUBG Mobile Esport, right? With how they are able to take these fights now, how aggressive they are. I'm especially interested to see how they're going to fight for their spot in Pachinki on Erangel against, I believe it's the Xavier, how that really unfolds. But Nigma Galaxy has to be one of the teams that everyone is looking at to qualify for the Grand Finals, so they're a very big favorite for me here going in these matches.
I'm hyped for them. I'm also hyped for Duxan as well, because South Korea, let's go. Here we are.
Oh.
They're awesome. They're awesome. And I mean, to be fair, they had a great start to their group initially, and they kind of fell off slowly as time went on. But I've said it multiple times, as South Korea constantly gets more and more days, more games on the board, they're great at assimilating information. All of their teams, all of the teams that qualify for PMGC. So I'm hoping for Duxan to prove big here again today.
That was great analysis about gladiators, by the way.
I was going to say, well, that's great stuff to talk about, obviously, Nigma Galaxy and Duxan. But, Max, I really want to hammer home about gladiators here. My attention actually are over towards potentially Inco Gaming, because obviously they've seen their brethren teams of Alpha 7, of Loops, of Influence Rage perform pretty well. I'm curious to see if they can rise up and be another Brazilian strong power team. But also, and Hyper, because the roster they ended up fielding in Group Red wasn't the roster they ended up fielding in Americas, or the team they ended up fielding in North America PMPL. I mean, to be fair, GFan on the roster was surprised to see them do so well in the group, considering GFan's kind of been out of the team for a while now. But they have, I guess, a lot of pressure coming their way from North America in general, considering they're our only representative. And I don't know. It's going to be tough, man. That's all I can say.
I know that Zifan is watching a lot of, doing a lot of viewer parties, watching a lot of the different regions. So I think that might have helped out, actually, because he knows kind of what to expect in these matches against all these different teams, how they're going to rotate, and how these matches are going to be unfolding. So maybe that has been helping them out quite a bit. But it can't help you against the domination of Brazil right now, because Influence Rage are just running away with it. And as you said already, talking about Inco, Jason, they have already played at this stage. Nenebich in particular, one of my favorite players of the region, that I would like to see them potentially climb up. But that would be too many Brazilian teams almost in the Grand Finals. There can't be all of them. That's not possible.
Or could it? I don't know. Yeah. We'll see. Obviously, still a lot to come up down the way. But we can see a comparison here of Mad Bulls up against Nigma Galaxy. And Mad Bulls obviously struggling when it came to placement points, able to put up a ton of eliminations and obviously double chicken dinners as well. We could see just obviously the performance when it came to group stage quite different when it came to eliminations.
For me, Nigma Galaxy, I do feel like they were the one surprise for me, especially out of Group Red, to not advance through to the Grand Final straight away. I mean, they just fell short of Morph by a few points here and there, because Nigma Galaxy had a great start, and we know this team as a very formidable roster. I mean, I think a lot of people put a lot of stock in if Coops is gone, then if he's eliminated early, then maybe they don't have much legs to stand on. But I don't necessarily hugely agree with that. Of course, he is a force to be reckoned with, right? And somebody that is going to be sitting very strongly with him, as you can see here with the 43 eliminations. But this team still is able to play a macro game, even if Coops is gone. It's just that he is quite the powerhouse to speak of.
I mean, thinking back to PMWI, Max, we did see Coops kind of be similar to Nomi, similar to Matic. He was kind of off by himself, but also the funny thing was he was the tip of the spear, it seemed, in most parts. He would be like the first one across the rows to get position for his team, but he'd be so confident and so successful to be able to do that it allowed Nigma Galaxy to kind of adapt their style quite a bit to how Coops can perform to his best.
If you're Nigma Galaxy, you don't need an IGL. You just need to, Coops is engaged, we just follow Coops.
Enable him.
No, just enable Coops, exactly, to kind of take these fights, because clearly, as you said, he is the spearhead of these scenarios. He is the one that is leading the charge for this fight, and a lot of the time it's very successful when it works out that way. And the rest of the team, sure, they can frag out. We know Lord, we know Freak, we know how Rauf can also pop off in these matches, but clearly it's just the setup around Coops. If he gets knocked, pick him up. You want to keep him alive as much as possible, which is what I wanted to see almost from Quest with Al-Hajir, but it's just not been the case. Al-Hajir's been going out early, so it goes to show how important it is to keep a star player like Coops alive until the very end, because it increases your odds of winning those matches pretty significantly. So yeah, I hope that it's going to work out for them, though. If you're looking also on this graphic, Radio Seal, currently Reject, we had some great moments, right, Kalaris, in the group stage. They've been a little bit invisible currently at the start of this tournament. There's still a bit of time for them to come back and hopefully qualify for the last chance, but Reject have not had the start I was expecting, and that might be also off the back of that long break between Group Green and now this point of the tournament?
Honestly, I have a bit of a grim outlook for Group Green, in my opinion. We'll also take a look at some of the highlights. Because, I mean, you've got 6 of their teams not able to make it happen yesterday, right? I think Alter Ego was the top out of those 6 teams with 22 points. And that's kind of why I focused on them a little bit in my VOD review from day to day, because I do feel like Alter Ego is the one that can try and get out of that rut that Group Green has put themselves in yesterday, because it is their last chance today. So much so that I do believe that Alter Ego will make some big changes coming in today. Like, for example, I think that they're going to go north on Sandhawk because N-Hyper goes down towards Camp Charlie, which was a backup drop since they moved away from that northwest island, for example. So we'll see if that actually pans out here today. But yeah, I think they've got a tall mountain to climb as Group Green today, for the most part.
I will say this, I'm 100% in agreement with you, Claris, but one thing we can't forget about is that the difference between 16th place and 8th place is 15 points. Now, obviously, if you're Melissa in the situation, that's over doubling your points, but it's not that big of a gap at the moment, so it's really going to come down to those potential 1, 2, 3 points. That means whether you're into the last chance or your unfortunately PMGC run will be done. So it's still extremely close, but yeah, it is kind of eye-opening, Max, as we look at Group Green just struggling down towards the bottom of the leaderboard.
Yeah, actually, I got a few numbers right now. Group Yellow, on average, have 40.5 points. Group Green have 26.3. So there's a pretty significant disparity between the teams that are between these 2 groups. It is going to be a bit rough. There's room for them to, of course, catch up here, but as we know, for the survival stage, it's only 2 days. The team of Group Green only have 6 matches remaining to have an impact on the leaderboards. And after, I mean, Calaris in esports, this is always the worst scenario to be in. You just got to stay and watch and just hope that the other teams around you don't perform well, which is the most insane situation to be in, because you just cannot have the impact you're hoping for anymore.
No, for sure. It's a terrifying prospect to actually kind of stare down. For Rejects, of course, I think that obviously right now they got themselves 17 points yesterday. Compare that to the group stage that they had, which was 188 points in total. For me, I don't know if 2 days is enough for Rejects and rotating lobbies for them to gain traction, because Rejects' performances came in the latter stages of their group as a whole, compared to some of the earlier days and the early results. That said, as well, there's some uncharacteristic numbers that came out from yesterday. Procedure, for example, only 10 eliminations across 6 games. This is a team that can get that in 1 game, no problem, considering what we saw from them in the group stage. So my eyes are also on them, aside from Alter Ego, because I just think that they're capable of more.
100%. I completely agree, and unfortunately, just not seen out of them and the Twins. But you know what? Obviously, rotating groups. I think for me, as you kind of mentioned, right? Like, we have rotating groups. It kind of doesn't favor some of the teams. But for me, PMGC is always about finding the best all-around team, because there's so many different kind of mini tournaments within tournaments, right? You have your group stage where you play out the same teams over the course of 3-4 days. Then you have this event where you have rotating groups. You have to be adaptive